Ronnie, I know you've made a lot of musical friends over the years, and I'm sure some of your blues heroes have become your friends as well. Who are some of those people that you've had a chance to get to know?
Well, I feel very blessed about all that because I got to become friends with and live amongst people like Coco Taylor, who helped me a great deal, and in my youth, and when I started out. I stayed at Robert Jr.'s house. We were very close. He cooked me fried chicken at 7 o'clock in the morning for breakfast. I was very dear friends with Earl King. And he was the best man at my wedding. I was very, very close with the original Fabulous Thunderbirds, especially Kim Wilson and Keith Ferguson and Jimmy Vaughan. I lived with all three of them for my time in Austin, Texas. I mentioned Big Walter, Eddie Cleanhead Vincent, John Rossi, the drummer for Roomful of Blues, was a very dear friend to me. And Eddie Cleanhead Vincent were the greatest geniuses that I got to play with. Some of them stayed at my mom and dad's house. Cotton did, and Witherspoon, but I used to hang out with Cleanhead, and it was just so wonderful.
Such precious memories, I'm sure, considering so many of those geniuses are gone, no longer with us. Your guitar playing as a guitarist is much more evolved than just a guitar style. I think you mentioned so many other players, harmonica players, singers, horn players. To develop your own style, you kind of rolled in a lot of different kinds of playing and different kinds of music, I think.
Yeah, well, very early on, I'll tell you, I don't know if it's musical ignorance or anything, but I never was able to play anybody else's stuff. I just could not do it, and that helped me. Maybe that was something from God. I did listen to Otis Rush and Magic Sam and people like that. But somehow I developed my own style because I always looked for the soul in music, not the technique, not the chops, not the, but just like this wave of feeling that I got when I listened to Wayne Bennett, who was another dear friend of mine. This wave of feeling when I heard John Coltrane, and and waves of feelings when I listened to Otis Spann, and so I always went for the feeling,
Ronnie, there's obviously a real spirituality in your playing and your approach to music. And once when we spoke, you said that there are levels of consciousness in your playing, and I meant to ask you what exactly you meant by that.
Well, I think if you have, in the 12-step programs, they you learn about having divine intentions and good motives, and I've realized through my wife that there are two worlds. There's the material world, there's the spiritual world. The material world is the guitar magazines and the the awards and this and that, and I'm not saying any of that's bad, but it's not for me, the fame thing. And what's important to me is moving people and healing and having love come through you, through whatever your higher power is. And for me, not to be like a bad dude like I was, 20 years ago, but just to be as kind a person as I can be, and to pass it on to the younger generation. We're going to have a younger guitarist on the CD, and instead of bringing in all the stars on this DVD and CD, we're having some people that are just very important to pass it on, because people were very loving and kind to me, and I feel very blessed. Bob Margolin helped me a great deal. John Nicholas helped me. They saw something in me. Duke Robillard was, passed it on to me. So I want to be that channel too for the younger musicians, artists.
Do you see your life in different stages? You've overcome a lot of obstacles, physical obstacles, and now you were talking about the spirituality of the the music, it's evolved to that. I take it. It didn't always start that way and reach that level of consciousness for you, did it? When you started, you weren't quite at that point, were you?
No. I had a big ego and low self-esteem, and because I was drinking and drugging, for 18 years. And I thought I was a pretty cool dude, and really my playing it was like gray. My playing was gray. It didn't have the sunlight. It didn't have, power of higher power. And now everything feels clear, I'm a clear channel, and I think the audience feels that, and I'm with a beautiful band who has hung in there with me through my bouts of depression, and I've been clean and sober for 18 years, so things are a day at a time, and I have good days and sometimes better days, sometimes days are hard, but we're really trying to come out and play more now. I know I'm not going to be touring this year or anything, but who knows what might happen. My drummer, producer Lauren is always telling me, we should go to Chicago, so maybe I'll make him happy with that sometime.
I think that's one of the reasons why you wanted to do this DVD, is right, because you really haven't traveled very much or played too often, really.
No, but I did for 25 years. I feel like I gave everything I had to the world, for 25 years, while other people stayed home and raised families, and I don't have any children, but when I came down with diabetes, and I just said, I need some time to heal and think about music and think about how I can be the best human being I can be,
I know you've been contributing to your own community that way too. You give some guitar lessons, you work with young people.
Yeah. And I also can't stress the importance of the band that I'm with. They're really all beautiful people and very supportive of me, and we don't work very much sometimes, and they've all hung in there with me. So I know that they're feeling this spiritual thing too. We're all together as a family, that they keep coming back to wanting to do this music.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Very importantly, I'd like to say that if you're watching this anywhere, that you don't have to live a life of drinking and drugging to be an artist. You know, you don't have to kill yourself with that stuff. You can have a good life, you know. It's there for you. And there's room in the world for as much art, you know, as the world, you know, there's always room for another great artist. And I think it's all the guys that are playing in basements, playing the blues in basements or whatever, we're all just as important. We're all beautiful children of God.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see. I'm gonna play a little gospel tune. You know, see if I can remember it.